All right, so we are talking today with Chris Nevatt from PSC, or the Plastic Soldier Company. PSC is a manufacturer of high quality military focused plastic miniatures. Chris, let's start off by talking about how the company started. What is the goal of PSC in the market of plastic miniatures?
Okay, right. Hi, guys. Yeah, the role of the company has always been to produce good quality, reasonably priced plastic miniatures for war gamers and modelers. We produce like a range of 15mm and 20mm kits, suitable mainly for World War II. And we also sell a range from Bethesda and another company called Minerons,
Okay.
based on the Spanish Civil War.
Okay.
So what we're planning to do, we've been running the company now for about 5 or 6 years. New with the company. I've been working there a couple of months. I'm a war gamer myself, and I've been wargaming for quite a number of years now. What the company's planning to do is move into the board game market.
Yeah.
So we have released a game recently called The Great War, based on the Commands and Colours system.
Yeah, and
And
that
that's
was
a game.
that was a Kickstarter campaign, right?
That's right. Yeah,
Originally?
that was put on Kickstarter
Okay.
originally. It's been created by Richard Borg. A lot of you guys are probably aware of Richard Borg
Yeah.
and the great games that he's produced. Commands and Colours, various different sets for that. So we've had Napoleonics and Ancients
Yeah.
and Battle Cry and Battle Law, which some of you guys will probably be familiar with.
Uh-huh.
So what we've got now is a game based on the Great War. It's using a battlefield board. So you've got a left flank, a centre and a right flank, like the other games in the series. And this is using nice 15mm Plastic Soldier Company World War One miniatures. So in the set, what you get is you get 162 plastic miniatures for the British and the Germans. Also in the game, you get the battlefield game board, as I mentioned. You get 58 double-sided terrain tiles, 30 HQ tokens. You get some targeting templates. You get reserve artillery rectangular tokens, and you also get a number of wire shell craters, which are double-sided
Yeah.
as well. Other things you get is you get command cards that you use in the game as well, which is standard with the other Commands and Colours games. And what makes this game unique from other games is you get combat cards, which you can use in conjunction with the command cards for the game.
Yeah, and we're big fans of the Commands and Colors series, and like you're saying, it does have some interesting things that help it stand out from most of the other board titles. We'll talk about the off-board artillery if you could, but the combat cards that you're talking about, they really reminded us of the dragon cards from Samurai Battles, which is the most recent Commands and Colors game, which is one of our favorite things about that game. So how did you guys come about wanting to do something similar to those dragon cards in Samurai Battles, and also talk to us a little bit about the off-board artillery?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, with the combat cards, I feel that it really makes the game feel unique. They're very sort of World War One themed. Each card it's really simple to look at. So you've got your text along the bottom of the card, and what you can do. So you might have cards like wire cutters. There's even like a lice card. There's trench foot. There's like artillery bombardments that you can do, like box barrages. So the combat cards give the game a real sort of unique World War One flavour. When you're playing this game, you really feel like you're playing a World War One game. It's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think Richard's really sort of come up trumps with this, with making this game, like I say, feel like a Great War board game. There's not many around. So,
Yeah.
yes, he captures the feel for the period remarkably well using those cards. To activate the cards, the combat cards, you use these things called HQ tokens. You get a number of these before the scenario starts, and you can replenish the HQ tokens throughout the game. So to activate a card, depending on how strong the card is, it costs so many HQ tokens, which I feel that's another great thing about this game. You've got an element of resource management.
Yeah.
So you're imagining sort of getting resources from a headquarters to help you sort of push in a certain sector
Yeah.
of your battle. So that's a great aspect of the game.
Yeah, and in Samurai Battles, Richard Borg had the Honor and Fortune tokens, which you use to pay for other things like adding in a die to your die roll. But I love the addition to the Commands and Color series of the resource management. You're right about that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing with the Commands and Colours games. I mean, I've got the Ancients, Napoleonics.
Yeah, me too.
And when you're playing an Ancients games, it feels like an Ancient game. And when you're playing Napoleonics, you feel like you're playing a Napoleonics game. So he really captures the feel for the periods remarkably well with the cards that are used in these games. So, I mean, my hat goes out, off to him really for that. It's a great concept. Anyway, talking about artillery. So, off-table artillery is represented by a token. You get a token in the game, but after the game was produced, we have brought out 15mm plastic artillery that you can have as off-table artillery pieces, if you like. And in future expansions, the artillery will play a part on the board as well. So you will have like little artillery pieces on the battlefield. Anyway, all right, okay. So you have your off-table artillery. It varies in strength. You get strength 3, strength 4, strength 5 for your artillery, and that plays a part off-table, and you activate it using one of your command cards. Which could be a probe left, probe right, or centre, or recon right, left, or centre. And they cost a number of HQ tokens to activate, depending on the strength of the token, the artillery token. So it's a simple mechanic. You have a template that you use. You hold the template over the unit, and if you get a double, you roll some dice, some artillery dice, which are just normal D6s. If you get doubles with those, then that's a direct hit. And you also have numbers on the outside of the template, so there's a chance the artillery may scatter as well.
Yeah.
So you can end up hitting units next to the area that you designated the template for. So it's a really nice, simple concept, really sort of easy to do. So it doesn't take long to learn that at all. So that's a great aspect of the game.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
very
activate
interesting.
So you activate that in the area that the card's suitable for. So like a left flank card, you'd use it in the left flank. You couldn't sort of do it anywhere on the board, so it has to be, in conjunction with the command card.
Okay.
So that can really add sort of a lot of help to you in your games when you're playing them. Because it can soften up your opponent, and then you can sort of push troops forward. So it does feel realistic from a World War I point of view.
Yeah.
Talking of artillery as well, a lot of the time, if you're the attacker, during World War I, you'd get a preliminary bombardment, and this is reflected in the game, which again is another simple mechanic. So in the scenarios that you look at in the rule book, you'll have arrows, and all you do is simply roll an artillery dice, like a D6, from that side where the arrow is located, and wherever it hits, you create a crater. And the idea of that is to break the wire, because normally you have barbed wire going through the board, to stop the attackers, slow them up. So the idea is that you break the wire, and you're also creating craters for your troops to advance across, which gives them a little bit more shelter than just being out in the open ground. So again, another simple mechanic in the game that gives a really nice World War I feel.
Yeah, this artillery in this game is such a fantastic concept, and I love the addition of it in Commands and Colors, because as much as I love Ancients and Napoleonics and even back to Memoir 44 and Samurai Battles, it seems like he just has more and more ideas as he goes along with these Commands and Colors game that keep him very, very fresh.
Yeah, he's a genius, and
how did you guys end up hooking up with Richard Borg to start development on the new Commands and Colors game?
Well, it's my boss, to be honest.
Okay.
His name's Will Townsend. He's the owner of PSC, and he's a war gamer, and had an interest in the period of World War One. And I think he just got talking to, I don't know the exact details, but he just got talking to Richard and spoke to him about certain projects that he might have happening, and Richard kindly allowed will to publish this particular game. So it's really, that's how it's all started. We also, this is the first game. We've got a tank expansion that's due out. That's on Kickstarter at the moment until a bit later on in this month.
Okay.
We've already reached the first stretch goal for that. So with that, that's a tank expansion, like I say. So you're going to get 2 British male tanks, 2 British female tanks, Mark IVs, and 2 German A7Bs. And they're going to come pre-assembled and pre-painted as well. So you can use those for your scenarios straight out the box. You also get additional tiles with that, and new rules for fortified positions, river and canal hexes, bridges, and destroyed bridges. So there's going to be additional layers to the game as the expansions come out, so you can add even more flavour to an already great game.
Okay.
So that should be with us and ready to distribute to our customers before Christmas.
Do you guys have plans for any other expansions down the road?
Absolutely, yeah. I was just going to say, we've got a French Army expansion, so that's due out probably in the first half of next year, so we're looking forward to that. And again, we'll have some tanks to go alongside that. The figures for that have already been sculpted and designed. There'll be infantry with machine guns and mortars and artillery as well, so there'll be field artillery for the French. And like I say, that'll come out with as an additional expansion, no doubt. I haven't seen what else will be added as of yet, but no doubt there'll be some other rules added there just to add a bit more to the game.
Okay.
And we are planning an early war expansion. I forgot to mention the board's double-sided, so you've got a muddy sort of battlefield on one side, and then you've got green battlefield on the other side, and that can be used to represent the early battles of World War One, and also some of the late war battles as well. As World War One became more fluid in 1918, and they got out the trenches and out the muddy fields, it became a lot more open. So that can be reflected with the green battlefield that's on the other side of the board. So early war expansion. There's going to be British, French, and German cavalry, maybe Russian, included for that set. And then we plan to do an Eastern Front as well. So there'll be the Austro-Hungarians and the Russians. So there'll be scenarios to go alongside that. We are planning a biplane expansion, so you'll have aircraft that you can use on the board as well. A Yankee expansion, so we'll have doughboys, and I think there's going to be some sort of Renault tanks and things, and more scenarios for the American involvement in World War One later on in the war. We really want to cover all the major sort of land conflicts of the period if we can. So hopefully a Gallipoli expansion as well in the future with the Turks and the Australians, and a bunch of scenarios to go with them too. So a lot planned for this. We want to fully support it, and we've already got a website up and running for the game. You'll have to forgive me on the exact web address for it, but if you just type in the Great War website, there'll be something that'll come up, and you can join. There'll be a forum there, similar to the Napoleonics and Ancients. There's battles and things like that.
It's like
so
cnc.net or something, but similar to that.
That's
it's very cool.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely.
Do you guys? You had said that the plan had been all along to develop board games, or for a while at least. Has it been the plan from Will Townsend? Is that right?
Yes.
From the beginning to develop board games in addition to plastic miniatures?
From the beginning of starting PSC?
Yeah.
I don't know really. I think it's just something that's evolved, something that's developed.
Okay.
I mean, we're still going to be continuing to produce great kits. We've got new releases coming out all the time for our miniatures as well. So that's the mainstay of our business. So that's going to continue and be strong, and we want to keep all of our customers satisfied by bringing out new products. And I get emails every day as to what have we got coming out next, and what people would like. So that's a major part of our business, and that will continue. And the board games, we're going to develop more board games as well. We're talking to different people about creating different games. I can give you a little teaser, if you like, as to some things that will be coming out in the early part of next year. And for next year, we're hopefully planning on re-releasing a Battle of Britain game that Richard creates in the, I think it was 1990.
Yeah.
Using miniature aircraft, so you can have a battle, a sort of control room view of England and a part of France, and you're going to be able to recreate the battles of the Battle of Britain in 1940. A really fun game. I've been playing the old game, and we're looking to sort of improve that. It's going to be an updated version with gorgeous minis, so that's one to look out for. We've also been talking to a chap called Ian Brody, who's a great designer of games. He brought out
from
Quartermaster General.
Griggling Games, right? Yeah.
That's it, absolutely. That's the chap, and he brought out a great game, Quartermaster General. Really sort of fast-paced. Yeah, it's great fun, really good fun. It's a card-driven game, based on World War II, and you can play the major nations. That's already out, and he's brought out an expansion for that. But we're planning on doing another game based on the Quartermaster series, so the same sort of mechanics, and it's going to be on the Peloponnesian Wars, so it'll be ancient Greece, war in states. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for that to come out.
That is very exciting news there.
That is really exciting, and plans to do a Great War version of the game as well in the future. So that's in the pipeline, and we're looking to help produce another Commands and Colours game, which I think will get you guys really excited. I'm excited about it, and this one's going to be called Tricorn. So this is going to be based on the American War of Independence. Should come out sometime next year. We're in the process of designing and sculpting the minis at the moment, so there'll be 20mm plastic American War of Independence pieces to use for an American War of Independence game.
That's
so that's going to be so cool.
And do you think that,
cool.
So you guys are releasing 2 Commands and Colors games in a row. Do you see your company working with Richard Borg from now on the Commands and Colors games, or as long as he wants to, or you guys want to?
Well, I mean, it's really up to Richard. So, we just have to play it by ear and see what he wants to do. I mean, he works alongside other companies as well, that GMT, who have brought out the great sort of Napoleonic games and Ancients. So, he's we'll have to wait and see what happens. See how things develop. So,
Absolutely.
We would love to do more Commands and Colours games, because both Will and myself are really passionate about the series of games, and we'd love to work more with Richard Borg in the future, but we'll have to wait and see. So, but that's just a taster of what we've got going on for next year, and no doubt there'll be more developments. So we're looking to bring out some more games for the UK Board Game Expo next May, and also for Spiel in Germany, which we've just come back from. So we're looking to have some more games and a bigger stand out there in Germany next year.
It seems like you guys are very serious about releasing board games.
Yeah, we are, absolutely. Yeah. We just want to make sure we produce really good quality board games and get known for doing that, so that's why we're, happy to be working with Richard and Ian Brody, who are great designers and creators of these games. And hopefully we'll get a fan base behind us, who will follow us, and, we'll be happy with what we're producing. And, it'd be nice to get people's feedback as well, and for people to email us and let us know what they'd like, so that would be something for the future as well. We want to know what our customers want. So.
Absolutely. And do
Yeah.
you
So
guys? I know that the Great War is much more in the gamer consciousness than Samurai Battles was, which was released by the Russian publisher Zvezda. But
yeah.
I've found the Great War for sale in. I mean, I haven't looked a lot, but on one online game store, a guy that has a lot of copies for sale. But are there plans for full distribution to the United States, or is that already there and I just haven't seen it?
Well, we have actually over the last couple of weeks distributed games out to our main distributors
Okay.
in the USA. So they should be reaching shops. They should be with shops now, or just about to.
Okay.
So if you check your local hobby store, local board game shop, and see if they've got it available. Yeah, I mean, so we have got it. It is sort of being pushed out to the States. We really want you guys to have this game, and enjoy it because it's fantastic. So, yeah, well, the game's not really been out that long. It's been out a few months. But,
Okay.
it hasn't been out for a great
Yeah.
length of time, so it's still early days. But yeah, it is out with our US distributors and should reach your stores soon.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you guys are getting recognized in the board game community for the Commands and Colors game, because I noticed, say with Samurai Battles, there were very few reviews of that game, and this already seems to be being pretty well known in the community.
It's a shame, because, like with this Great War game, I'm telling everybody, everyone I speak to, I'm just so passionate about the period. I'm passionate, like I said before, about the series. So, if we can reach out to as many people as possible and spread the word, because World War One, the Great War, World War Two does have the focus on a lot of people's minds. I think the Great War is a bit of a niche sort of area, really. But I mean, they had some fantastic battles. It wasn't all static trench warfare. There was a lot of fluid movement. There was a lot of tactics, a lot of strategy involved. So, if anyone's got a slight interest in World War One, if their great grandparents were in it, or if they've watched things on TV and think, I'd like to look a bit more into that, get this game, check it out, because there's loads of scenarios in the game. It'll give you a real sort of taste and feel for the period. And who knows, you might want to start picking up some books and reading more about it,
Yeah,
So
and for anybody who, there are people out there who do not like cutting out sprues, but the sprues here, there's not a lot of assembly. There's maybe 2 figures that have assembly in the set, but other than that, they're very easy cutout pieces because it took me just a night or 2 to cut them out.
Yeah, it shouldn't take that long to cut them out the sprues. We are planning future expansions to, we understand, this game was the first game we brought out, and we understand that a lot of board gamers don't want to play around with modelling and sprues.
Yeah.
So in future expansions, what we're planning on doing is having the figures already off the sprues,
Okay.
so people will just be able to play straight out the box. That's the plan for the future with the games. So, hopefully we're going to sort of keep our board gamers satisfied with that, but there'll still be the great, a very good standard in quality pieces, because that's what we strive to do. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that to turn anybody away from this game, because unlike other games where there's, you're having to put on the arms and the legs and everything like that, that isn't the case here. They're full figures, but just need to be cut out,
That's it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It really doesn't take that long to do it. You just get a decent hobby knife, something nice and sharp, and you're away. It should only really take a couple of hours to get all the figures off the sprues. But like I say, future expansions you won't have to worry about that. So, and same like I said with the tanks, they'll be die cast and ready to go out the box. So, and to a sort of reasonable painted standard. So, they look great. You have them in steel and a few teams, and they look fantastic on a table, so people will get a lot of fun with that,
Very cool. Well, Chris, I've had a lot of fun talking to you, and I suggest anybody who is a fan of the Commands and Colors series, or has been interested in it, or just wants a nice, simple war game system to get into, this Commands and Colors is perfect, and this is a very cool one that adds some really, really interesting elements to it. So I think it's a good game for people.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic game. You took the words out of my mouth. I recommend it to anyone to go out there, get this game, pick it up. If you're interested in the period, you'll love it. It's fantastic. It's been great talking to you, Lance.
Very cool. Tell our listeners where they can find you online.
Say that again. Sorry, mate. I didn't quite get that.
Yeah, tell our listeners where they can find you online, like your website or Twitter, stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have a website. You just in the Plastic Soldier Company to come up with our website. We also have a great page as well, which someone has just questions. Just look us up on Facebook, and I'll do my best to answer them. Or you can email me directly. I can give you my email address if that's any help. If anyone has any queries about the game,
yeah,
questions,
sure.
It's trade sales at theplasticsoldiercompany.co.uk.
Okay.
So you can just contact me on that, and I'll be more than happy to assist anyone.
Okay, very cool.
And like I say, yeah, fully supportive Facebook page and a good website as well to follow that. So.
All right. Well, we've been talking with Chris Nevatt from the Plastic Soldier Company out of the UK. Chris, thank you very much for your time, and good luck to you guys with the Great War and for the Kickstarter for the expansion running right now. Thank you for your time, Chris.
Thanks a lot, Lance. All the best to you, mate, and thank you so much for having me on your show.
Absolutely.